Hi, I'm Renee Wooten, the principal of Emerald Hill, and we're here today to dedicate a tree to James Green. I certainly remember when James was here. I was the assistant principal at that time, and many of the staff and students who knew James remember him so fondly. We certainly wanted to take the opportunity to dedicate this tree, and the art department, along with the teachers, created a lovely paper flower bouquet with remembrances of James. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Fredericks, who has some words to present. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Wooten. I would like to take time here to thank everyone who came out today, and thank you for Mrs. Wooten for allowing us to plant this tree. It's a Cleveland pear tree that will bloom in the springtime, and that's when James's birthday is in April. And I'd like to also thank Culpeper County for allowing us to plant this tree, and for everybody who came out today. I would like to bring up somebody special.
I remember tears streaming down your face when I said I'll never let you go. When all those shadows almost killed your light. I remember you said don't leave me here alone. But all it's dead and gone and past tonight. And just close your eyes. The sun is going down. You'll be alright. No one can hurt you now. Come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Don't you dare look out your window, darling, everything's on fire. The war outside our door keeps raging on. Hold on to this lullaby. Even when the music's gone, it's gone. And just close your eyes. The sun is going down. You'll be alright. No one can hurt you now. Come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound. Ooh, oh, 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 oh. And just close your eyes. You'll be alright. Come morning light, you and I'll be safe and sound.
I met James in 6th grade. I remember I went to Farmington instead of Emerald Hill, and I didn't know anybody at CMS because technically I should have gone to Binns instead if I went to Farmington. And I literally did not know a single person at the school. And I remember first block was awful because I just sat at the back of the room. I was really shy and I didn't want to say anything to anybody. And I walked into second block, and there was this goofy, shaggy-haired kid laughing his head off on the other side of the room. And I remember thinking, I don't know who you are, but I want to be friends with you because you just seem awesome. And it was funny because, again, I was shy. I didn't like to go approach people, and he actually came over and was talking to me, and he was the person that made middle school bearable for me, you know. He kind of got me through that first year of the awkward shyness and kind of just opened me up to everybody else, introduced me to his friends, so I met other friends, and he was my first close person in middle school. James was the funniest kid you would ever meet. He was the kid that could turn the really corny, cheesy jokes that everyone cringes at into something funny. Like, one time I was eating Doritos, and they were nacho cheese Doritos, so he had to make the joke, what kind of Doritos aren't yours? And I was like, what kind? And he's like, nacho cheese. I don't think I ever heard any of his artichoke jokes, but I'm sure they were just as corny. James, again, had the biggest smile ever, and you couldn't help but smile with him. And I know he's touched so many people with his story, and I know that's what he wanted, because I know he told us all, and he made us promise that we wouldn't remember him now as, you know, the kid we lost to cancer, because he was beautiful and he was James. And that cancer will never define him. He will always be beautiful and be James. And even now, I can still hear his voice in my head saying, Taylor, get your hair out of your face. I mean, I get ready and I, sometimes feel like, oh God, I wish that, I could see him at school now. I wonder how he would be in high school, the difference, because he was diagnosed last year in the beginning of 8th grade, so he actually never made it to the high school. And I always wonder, what would it have been like for him, or just the difference. And I feel like even though I didn't get to see him go to high school with me, he's still here with me. And I always feel him with me in some way where, it's like I'm sad and I just think of James randomly when I'm sad, and it's like, don't cry, Taylor. Crying's not good. I mean, he used to always tell me that. I remember one time I got upset in middle school, and I don't even remember what I was upset about. And he just looked at me and he's like, you don't need to cry. Crying makes you look all sad and depressing. You shouldn't cry. And it's like, but I'm sad. And it's like, but you don't need to be sad. Like, you have people that love you and people that care about you, and just don't be down and sad about stuff, because, you've always got someone with you that's going to make it better. James is always my person that made it better, and he still is. I still always have him, and I know I may not be able to get to Emerald Hill to see the tree, but now we've got a tree in the park, and I love going to the park. So, now I get to go see his tree, and I can always laugh and be like, there's a squirrel on you, James. I think he would have liked that. But that was James. He was just a goof, and just a great kid.
This is for James Green and his family. What a blessing James was in our lives. May his precious and artistic memory survive. This was a young man beginning his life who took ill, which ended in both beauty and strife. May this artwork of flowers bring family cheer, as we cherish life so exceedingly dear. May we give of our time to one another, remembering to laugh with sister and brother, remembering to share and show our good-natured side, celebrating James, who loved jokes a mile wide. So carry hopeful smiles to your family and friends. Love with all of your heart to the very end. Be present and show that you really care. Each person on earth is quite unique. Be aware. Make the effort to give life your best chuckle. Leave behind the hassle and stress. Don't buckle. Laugh, paint, and pray. Do this every day, today, while you may. With our sincere condolences, Emerald Hill Elementary School. Thank you.
James recently passed away from a brain tumor on April 10th of this year, just 4 days before his 15th birthday. And before that, he was a student here at Emerald Hill from 2005 to 2009, until he went to 6th grade after that. But James's story. He was diagnosed with a brain tumor in November of 2011, and at that time, his mom thought it best. His mom was living here with James. They'd separated from his father. She thought it would be best to rejoin the rest of his family in Florida, and for better family support. And they were a very supportive family, and they overcame any differences they had. And his mom, his stepmom, his brother, his sister, and his dad all lived under one roof, and all were very supportive. And I actually had the pleasure of meeting all of them when they came up here for their memorial service back in April. Over the next 17 months, James got to do lots of awesome things, like he met comedian Daniel Tosh in Las Vegas as part of his Make-A-Wish trip. He also actually randomly met Johnny Galecki of the Big Bang Theory at Disney World. And after that meeting, the show agreed to have a little pin of James as a prop on the show. So this pin will be on the refrigerator on the set of the show until the show leaves the air. But there was a lot more to James than that. Even after his surgery and his treatments, he woke up. And now he had developed faith in God where he had none before. And he wanted to share this newfound faith with his family. And family became the most important thing to James. And even though his parents had separated for a long time, they were now under one roof with his stepmom, his brother, his sister, and all of his grandparents also relocated to be near him. And nobody was more than 5 minutes away, and he could see them every day. And along with visits to fun places and his Make-A-Wish trip, James's family showed him great love and caring. And this is all he really wanted. And as a matter of fact, not long before he passed away, he told his mom he was actually thankful for the tumor because it made all this possible. And he wanted his family to find the same peace that he had found even after he was gone. But it was the person that James was that touched my heart. I first read about him in the April 4th Culpeper Star Exponent in an article that discussed his battle with cancer. And it was a story of love between a parent and a child. I've read stories like this before. And afterwards, I say a short prayer for the person and then move on with my day. But not this time. It was like God was telling me, this one's for you. This article led me to the Facebook page, Thoughts for James Green, which had many posts of support and love both for and from the Green family. So I followed the post on the Facebook page. I laughed and I cried along with the people posting. It was as if I had known James for a long time. After he passed away, another person, Dan Holmstock, whose daughter actually knew James in middle school, he posted that somebody needs to do a memorial for James. And I agreed, and I came on there and it was put right in my head, let's do a tree. So we began contacting the county, the town, the schools, everybody who thought might be able to let us plant a tree on their property. And we got permission to plant a tree at the Alameda Park, which was planted on April 28th when James's family was in town for his memorial service. But also Mrs. Wooten very quickly responded back and said I could plant a tree here at Emerald Hill. And I thought, that's a special place for me. I've been here for a long time volunteering for 8 years. My boys went here. I said that would be great because James was a special kid, and to be remembered in such a special place, I thought that was very fitting. How has James touched me personally? His family's spirit of love and caring encouraged me to go outside my own box and help with this memorial service as well as the other one we had for the tree in the park, as well as planting this tree for him at Emerald Hill. I discovered that we could all learn from James. From his infectious smile, love for corny jokes, and just caring more for others than he did himself. We can learn from his family what it means to have true unconditional love for somebody and to show that love and to make memories with them while you can. And I learned how I was reminded how important our faith in God really is. I found out that James was an amazing young man. He was older than his years. And even though I'm 50 years old, I can learn much from this young man. I've always been an introvert and someone who found it always awkward to reach out to people. Sure, having a wonderful outgoing wife helped me some over the years, but since April 4th, when I read the article and went to the Facebook page, I found more strength to be able to think of others first and be able to reach out to others at times like this. And I have God, James, and James's family to thank for that. And I'm thankful for the new friends I found since then as well. Two things that James wanted as part of his legacy were to be remembered and to touch as many people as possible. And given the hundreds of people that I've seen at his Facebook site, from all the outpouring of love and emotion on that site, from the memorial services both in Virginia and Florida that I've seen, and the outpouring of love and compassion, I would say, James, mission accomplished. I'd like to say that I never got to meet James in this life, but I look forward to meeting him in the next. And I believe every kid that goes here and moves on to middle and high school and on to life after that is always an Emerald Hill Eagle at heart. Not only is James an Emerald Hill Eagle, but he soars on eagle's wings.